Hello, everyone. We just got through watching SummerSlam. This is Hardcore Wrestling Radio's SummerSlam review for 2016. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and I got the hardcore crew with me. First, he is the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, you've been on a fucking roll tonight.
Hello, everybody, and I'll try and tone it down for a change.
And then over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV, he's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
I'm saying WWE, if you somehow find and listen to this, let me just make one request. No 6-hour Survivor Series, please, for the love of God, no.
Oh, no 6-hour pay-per-views ever again.
Well, yeah.
You know, and that's an interesting point because lately when they do the Big Four, like WrestleMania, they did the same thing. Now they're doing it with SummerSlam. And it's like, we don't need a 2-hour kickoff show, especially when it's just doing all the same fucking promos as they do before the actual match. So, but with that being said, let's talk about the main event match. Let's face it, guys, it wasn't a title match, but it was still the main event, and it was Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. Now, Lesnar starts off just dominating the entire match. Randy Orton comes back, hits an RKO off the table, the commentary table, excuse me, and once they get back in the ring, it seems to be back and forth. Then Brock Lesnar hits an F5, and he's busted open. Now, Joe, you don't mind me. As Andy, let me. Oh God. Let me. What do you think about the whole thing with the him getting all?
Well, the listeners to this, what you've got to bear in mind, we haven't had time watch it back on DVR. We've only seen it live and then come straight on here. But to me, if you're listening to that, then you've got chance to DVR it or you've DVR'd it. Watch it back to when Randy Orton is standing on the table doing the RKO on Brock Lesnar. It looks to me as though he reached down inside where the monitor is and picked up some kind of packet or sachet type deal and stuffed it down his trunks and then did the F5. And then miraculously, after a couple of forearms, he's busted open. You couldn't really see a cut. You could just see loads of blood everywhere. The first aid guys get in, mop his head with the magic sponge, and suddenly it stops bleeding. I think they're taking our trousers down and it was a blood sachet. Maybe I could be wrong. I'm going to watch the DVR recording back on and see if he does actually pick up a sachet, but he does actually grab something out of the hole where the monitor was. Watch it back and comment on the Facebook page and on underneath this YouTube video.
And thanks, Andy, for picking up for me as I completely got tongue-tied and twisted. So, Lance, what do you think?
It's been a long night.
Yeah, it had. Well, I've also been smoking a lot of weed tonight, so me being stoned is probably going to be a good reason why I'm fucking up along the line. So,
I think you've smoked Boston Dry tonight.
probably have. So, Lance, that
Boston's
I don't know.
gone dry.
Say again.
Boston's gone dry for the week.
That it has. Lance, the cut on Randy Orton being, do you think that was a patch, or do you think that was a legitimate injury?
Well, the main reason I think it could have been legit, because if you saw how Brock was holding his hands, it was in kind of a frog where we have two knuckle sticks. That's a quick way to bust somebody open. But then again, I did hear when Andy said he's grabbed something. I was like, wait a minute here. Then again, if they did do the whole blood packet thing, and we're just getting the illusion of blood, I'm okay with that too.
I don't know. I think it's kind of undermining. Not to mention the way the match ended. I mean, the match ended rather quick after that. I mean, that was what, guys? Maybe a 5-minute match at the most.
Yeah.
And
The ring entrances and the video package lasted 3 times longer than the match.
exactly. So that's why I'm inclined to believe that maybe he was injured. Why end it like that? Why have it on such a sour note when it's the main event, which they've been pushing for? I think honestly, maybe he did get injured. Whether he said it's a packet or not, who knows?
Well, the only time will tell when we've all gone back on the network and watched the replay. And had a good look. But I agree with you, Rick. They only normally stop matches when it's a legitimate injury. But I think they knew they were running way too far. The fans were getting bored, and I think let's just call time on the whole match. Maybe I'm. I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm not wrong for Randy Orton's sake, because the amount of blood that he supposedly lost in the ring while he was lying face down was quite a considerable amount. Last time I saw that amount of blood was Eddie Guerrero against Bradshaw. If you can remember that match many moons ago.
And back then, there was actual bleeding. Bleeding was very popular back then. But let's move along. The match we had after that, I want to talk about the Universal title belt, so I'm going to go back a little bit. Yeah, guys, I have it now on the screen. How fucking ugly was the actual title? It was... They had no creativity. The match itself was an exceptional match. I found it. It was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for Universal title. I honestly think, as great as Finn Balor is, I think he was a little too early for him to get the title. The quality of the match, I think there was like maybe one or two minor botches, but certainly nothing to complain about. Andy, over to you. Do you think Finn Balor should have got the title right away? Or do you think he should have held off, or what?
He's one of the picks who are picked to win the match. Whether he deserves... I don't think he's been in the WWE long enough to deserve that title yet, to be perfectly honest. But I'll go by what I said on Billy's show, what we were talking on Billy's show before we were on here on the WGS TV channel. Everybody was creating and chanting how crap the belt actually looked. And I think with giving it to Finn Balor, it'll take the onus off how crap the belt is, because a lot of fans want to see Finn Balor as a champion, and now he's got the title. And for those of you that have not seen it yet, look at your screen, because I'm sure Rick will be showing it on the screen. But it just looks like the championship belt, with someone's been at it with a spray can of spray, so they sprayed the leather red, and then top it all off, they've got a Dymo machine, one of them ticket printing machines, and just put Universal Champion on it. It sucks.
Yeah, I agree. And Lance, this actually almost looks like a ripoff of the Divas match. The only thing is they fixed the little underline slash.
Yeah, I mean, it just knockoff city. I mean, dang it. The belt sucks. Hell, I do watch quite a few YouTube belt channels. The damn thing don't even look finished yet.
Yeah,
it looks like they gave someone 15 minutes to come up with a belt. There's a Dymo machine. There's a can of spray paint. You've got 15 minutes. We forgot to do it.
Yeah.
I've seen far better designs from the fans on the internet.
Well, let's talk about the actual match itself. Seth and Finn Balor, again, put on a great match. I like the outcome. Finn Balor got the win with the coup de grace. And overall, it's not one of the worst matches of the night. If we have to talk about the worst match of the night, guys, and I think we can all agree, it was that Divas match.
No, there's one match worse than that, although it wasn't an official match and it was only like a video segment. Colonel Sanders against Miz the Chick.
Oh, God, yeah. I have no idea, guys, to this day, what the fuck that was about. I'm like, are you guys looking for a timer?
I thought your smoke was coming through the Google Hangout, because I thought, I'm not seeing this.
I
thought somehow of a digital contact high from you or some shit.
You kidding me, guys? I have my weed right in front of me. I had to open up and sniff it to make sure nobody fucking laced it with anything. You know? But anyways, the worst match of the night, honestly, was a championship the championship match, and that was a Divas match, and that was Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. Now, keep in mind, guys, these two have worked in NXT for over a year together. They were actually a four crew with Bayley, and if I'm not mistaken, Becky Lynch. Thank you. So there was just so many botches. It was ridiculous. And I think, honestly, during the match, I think we wanted to do one of the major botches where Sasha Banks got pulled off the ropes and kind of just landed in a really bad way. I think she honestly suffered a legit back injury because Charlotte did not target the back at all after that. And throughout the whole match, you saw Sasha nursing it. Charlotte did eventually get the win with a very bad natural selection, and we have a new title women's champion. Even as Charlotte was walking up the ramp, you could tell she was looking at her with for Sasha with concern. Andy, your thoughts?
It was a clumsy match. I thought it was a clumsy match from start to finish. There was that many botches from both wrestlers. It was an embarrassment for a title.
It's I don't know who the fuck thought this shit up. It's ridiculous. It was just a bad match, and considering the chemistry these two should have, it just went downhill real quick. Lance, your thoughts?
Honestly, after the botch where Sasha got hurt, I honestly think all the spots and everything went out the window, and they're just trying to survive out there, and did it poorly. But they got the end result done, and well, what's done is done.
And you made a fair point that maybe they had a lot of bigger spots, but after that injury, they kind of slowed it down a little bit. But I want to move on to another match that actually was, well, it really wasn't a match. It was a U.S. Championship match, Rusev versus Roman Reigns. Now, before Reigns gets in the ring, Rusev attacks Reigns, and the fight just busts out from there. Now, keep in mind, it's not the match didn't even start. They're fighting back and forth, back and forth. It gets to the point where like 20 wrestlers are trying to split them up. Reigns manages to spear Rusev, and thus had an injury, so they stopped doing that match. And it just, why they decided to do it that way, I have no idea. And the fact that they had an actual match on Raw earlier this week is just fucking ridiculous. Andy, over to you.
Yeah. To me, I don't like the brand split. Oh, put your teeth back in. I don't like the brand split again. The SmackDown and Raw. I just think they should stick to one brand. So I don't know why they're making like a big emphasis on SmackDown and Raw as two separate brands, because they never will be.
I think the whole separate brands, I mean, a little bit off topic, they just do that for the idea of splitting people up and kind of pushing other people to see who rises to the top. And that's how I had ever split before. And not to mention, the roster is so fucking big. But I want to get back over to the actual match, the non-match or fight, whatever the fuck you want to call it, between Reigns and Rusev. Lance, what did you make of that?
I guarantee that was like, hey guys, we in trouble. We going way too damn long, and we don't have enough time for you or Brock and Randy. But just go out there, pull about a fiver, come back, y'all do some good shit out there. But we ain't got time to do what we originally planned.
I'm inclined to disagree. Again, I think maybe it could have been the injury, or just, hate to say it, sometimes you just have a bad night, and that could have been it too. And having a bad night at SummerSlam is not saying a good thing for anybody. One of the other matches was Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Kevin Owens, or as they've been dubbed, Jericho. Now, I honestly thought that Amore and Cass was going to go over, but it turns out that Jericho got a win with the help of Kevin Owens. Jericho hits the code breaker. And not a bad match, not a great match. Certainly not the worst. Andy, again, your thoughts?
Oh, I don't know where to start with this one, to be honest. I really don't. It was... The good thing about that is that moustache that Chris Jericho's trying to grow. He looked like a porno star, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, Jesus. Miz retained his title against Apollo Crews with a skull-crushing finale, or as I just call it, the Skull Crusher. Now, during the Tag Team Champions, New Day versus Gallows and Anderson, the match kind of got thrown out because Big E was out on injury. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen Anderson and Gallows do these little vignettes of having Big E's nuts in a jar. So he comes back, the match gets thrown out. Uh, Andy, so far, there's more matches being thrown out than actually finishing.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that they seem to be running over. I just think they got far too much to fit in the time span that they got. The time span was far too long anyway. I think they thought the crowd were getting restless. They weren't restless. They were dead, to be perfectly honest. Not because of the show was 6 hours long, but from the start to the end, the crowd just didn't get into any of the matches. It was just a dead crowd.
Lance, your thoughts?
Yeah, this has been kind of a dead show except for a couple of spots. And that's about it.
Yeah, and the best match I would honestly have to say tonight is John Cena versus AJ Styles. Now, guys, the match from beginning to end, I was impressed. Now, I honestly thought that John Cena was going to lose, but what happens? AJ gets a win, a clean win at that. And you can see the look on Cena's face is like, oh my God, how this happened? Before he actually lost, he was in shock, and after he lost the match, he took one of his wristbands and put it in the middle of the ring, walked away, and gave everybody a salute. Andy, could this mean that maybe Cena is, could possibly be retiring or going back down to part-time status?
I think there'll be an announcement tomorrow on Raw, to be perfectly honest, and it looks to me like it's a. I just can't be because they made a big point of never give up, and I think he took the armband off, looked at it, made sure that the sign "Never Give Up" was prominent. The camera had a right good zoom in on it, and I think that's his way of saying, "I've had 2 matches with AJ now, and I can't beat the guy. It's time for me to give up."
That's an interesting note. It's a very interesting point. Lance, let me kick this one to you. Well, you know John Cena fan, but
No.
but in all seriousness, AJ pretty much said it was a win-win situation when we saw on the promo. That I could beat John Cena and the better guy. Could we say that maybe taking off that wristband could also be a signal that he's going to finally, in fact, turn heel? Or do you think it's a sign of him going part-time?
Part-time. Hell, he's got his new show, Mabobber, coming up, and again with tapings and shit. He's going part-time. Yeah, he's going part-time.
Yeah, because I've noticed that he's now becoming, again, with American Grit, getting off the subject for a second, he was the executive producer, and now they're coming up with a second season, so it tells me that Cena is kind of doing what The Rock is, slowly moving away from wrestling, but will always be a part of wrestling. There was actually rumors that a legend was supposed to appear to, SummerSlam, and Andy, the only person who I knew made an appearance was that night sitcom guy, John Matthews or whatever.
Stewart.
Thank you, John Stewart. If that's a legend, then
Yeah.
it shows where WWE's really gone down from.
Yeah, I think everyone was expecting Goldberg to show, but he obviously didn't show his face after all the internet rumours, which I was disappointed in, to be honest. I expected him to show his face, but he didn't.
No, and again, I think I've talked about this over in our chat room on the Facebooks, in the group section, HWR chat room, that Goldberg really has no love for the WWE. He's doing this right now, doing this little 2K17 tour because he is, a special, he's a downloadable character. So obviously he kind of has to, groove in but he really didn't hang out with Triple H. You didn't see him hanging out with Vince. You saw him talking to other friends, such as Xavier Woods, who he's known for 15 years. Shinunsky and Nakamura, I think. No. Anyways, moving on. It's just the fact that there was no legend. My pick for a legend was going to be The Rock, because The Rock likes to show up at big events. Lance, over to you.
Yeah, who knew that the legend would be John Stewart? Really? Anyway, yeah, Goldberg did make an appearance, but it was in the damn commercial, so whoop de damn do. And if he does go the route of the whole and with the Rock thing, damn, that shit's getting old. Because the Rock shit is getting older than hell. Betty White.
Oh, jeez. Now, one of the final matches I want to talk about was the WWE World Championship. Dean Ambrose against Dolph Ziggler. Uh, it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a great match. Um, Ambrose got the win with a DDT. I'm sorry, Dirty Deeds. It was looks like he was trying to come off the top rope. It was a very sloppy ending, Andy. I don't know if you agree or not.
Yeah, it was a bad end to a better than average match. It was a good match, but I just thought it was a real bad, shitty ending, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, Lance, we know you are a Lunatic Fringe fan. Your thoughts about him retaining?
I'll be honest, I was a fan of both guys in this match, and well, happy that Dean won. Like everybody's been saying, yeah, the ending with the dirty deeds, or them landing on the mat and then giving their dirty deeds, seemed a bit odd, but that was almost like, hey, we're going on or something. Hey, we need to go home, go home, go home. Jump off, dirty deeds, 1, 2, 3. Hey, it's cool that Dean's still champion because I didn't think they'd even give it to Dolph.
Well, see, I think that Dolph. I picked my pick was Ambrose, and I thought, okay, they're gonna end it, but Dolph really needs to get that title run. He's been with the company X amount of
Yeah,
years, and there are other wrestlers who've superseded him. They keep
yeah,
on mentioning, oh, he is a two-time world champion, but between both reigns, I don't think he would lasted more than 3 months.
yeah, because one of them he had a concussion.
Yeah, and the other one, Edge cashed it. The second he won it, bang.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't consider that a title reign. Yes, he held the title for about 30 seconds, but overall, guys, I'd have to give this. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. There were a lot of bad endings. There were some matches that really either didn't take place or ended just totally fucked up. So, Andy, your overall thoughts, best and worst matches.
I think I'll go for possibly a 5 out of 10. It was way, way, way too long.
Yeah, 4 hours can kind of like get to the point where it's like, yes, can we please get to the end? Can we please get to the end? Lance, your overall rating and best or worst match.
Overall, I'll go right between y'all 5.5. And well, best match, I'll go with the Cena AJ match. Worst, that god awful Divas match.
Yeah, and again, I think we're all in agreement on that one. But that's going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio's SummerSlam review for 2016. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and I want to thank the hardcore crew for coming on. First, he's the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com where I'll be looking for spooky ghosts and whatever else I can find.
Lance, you're over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. Every Wednesday night, you have a Google Hangout, and it's always a party over at your place.
You damn right. And I never know who's going to show up. And hell, if the whole crew showed up a couple times, and yeah, just a good old time. Y'all come on, stop by, and hell, hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
All right. And guys, first, we'd like to hit that subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. That's over on Facebook. We're over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV. My God, I am fucking up
Hey, thanks for the plug.
I'm telling you guys, I'm stoned out of my mind. Let's try that one again. Follow us over on youtube.com/HWR Show. And if you want to join in the conversation, we're over on Facebook in the group sections under the name Hardcore HWR Chat Room. So, for me fucking up and the hardcore crew, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying, damn, I need to smoke another one.